Hey everybody, this is David at Barnyard Bees. Watching this colony right here tear up this sugar water. It's March 12th, I believe. Thursday, March 12th. And what we're going to talk about today is why do honeybees die in between winter and spring? Why do so many people have good thriving hives in February, January and February, and then come March, their bees all of a sudden are dead? Well, I'll tell you what the biggest reason is, and it's not mites at that time of year, because if your hive is thriving and increasing, what happens then if you don't come in and start feeding your bees, your bees are gonna starve out. So that's the biggest threat in early spring, late winter, early spring. In between that transition here, it's like right now, we're mid-March. And a lot of people that I talked to said 2 weeks ago their hives were fine, and now they're dead. They go in and they're just they're dead bees everywhere. Well, that's what happens when the red maple blooms. It triggers that queen to start laying a lot of eggs fast. That pollen coming in. Now at that time, there's not a lot of nectar coming in. It's mostly pollen. She will start increasing. And as those hatch off, because this is like mid-February, second week of February, so by the time that brood hatches off 21 days later, well, by then you're pretty much into March, like right now. So mid-February, about mid-March, that's actually a whole month. And by then your bees are increasing quite a bit. So what happens if you don't come in and feed your bees? A lot of times, if they didn't have enough fall storage, a lot of things could have went wrong in the fall if you just depend on solely goldenrod to supply your bees through the winter. It just doesn't always work out that way. You got to make sure in the fall that you got adequate enough supply of sugar water, and then if not, feed constantly up until here in North Georgia. I can't judge in your area, but in here in North Georgia, we stop feeding wet sugar December 1st. And then that's when we come in and lay down dry sugar on top of the frames. That's just a little insurance policy. Now, come February, as soon as we see the red maple is blooming, we immediately start feeding here. Immediately. With 2 to 1 at that point. 2 to 1 through February. And then about the 1st of March, depending on how the weather's falling, between the 1st of March, we might go then to a 1 to 1. If the weather is warm and it's not real cold, even if it's rainy. Now, what happens is, like this rain, like it is today, the overcast it's rainy, and it's supposed to rain for the next week, and it's rained for the last week before almost. So this rain has really put a hurting on the bees as far as bringing nectar in. But in between time, they're bringing in lots of pollen, but the nectar flow is not that strong this time of year. But the pollen flow is pretty heavy. So they were bringing in tons of pollen and very little nectar, even on extremely sunny days. It's just not that strong yet. Now that's got, like I said, that will increase her production and cause those bees to starve out. That's why I always tell people, make sure in the fall that you fed plenty of sugar water. Don't rob too much honey from your bees. And then the first chance you get when that red maple blooms, start feeding them sugar water. Get it to them 2 to 1 through the month of February. Now, this is in North Georgia. Don't go by your area where you're in upper Pennsylvania or New Hampshire or somewhere like that, or Colorado, that you'll have to figure out in your area that time when it's time to start feeding sugar water. But we always use the red maple as a guideline. When they start bringing in that heavy pollen from the red maple, that's when we start feeding sugar water. And that will prevent your bees from starving out. And just like this little colony here, they're taking down that sugar water. And you can see through the vent, there's quite a few bees in here. It's hazy. I'm not going to pop the top off, and I don't want to disturb their water, their sugar water. But there is a lot of bees in this little colony right here. And that's the secret, is make sure, you know, keep your bees from starving out. It's very simple. Like I said, the dry sugar through the winter time will buy them a little bit of time. It's just a little insurance policy to keep those bees from starving. Now, we open feed as well, and we have been, but here's the problem with that, is it's hard to open feed in days when it's rainy. They just won't take in lots of sugar water because of the rain. So they need an internal feeder like this. You need to get you an internal feeder. We have these at Barnyard Bees or wherever you want to get them, or whatever kind of internal feeder you get. But get you an internal feeder. These bees can feed in all types of weather now, whether it's rainy, whether it's cold. They can come up and get the sugar water, and that's what you want. And then the way these are set up here, these got a lot of ventilation. And see how they properlize this one right here, somewhat shut. The bees know just exactly how much ventilation they need. So when they sense that it's too much ventilation, they close some of it off. So you can see right here, even on this one here, around the edges, they close this one off a little bit, but then they close this one off quite a bit over here. So they're getting plenty of ventilation. They're getting plenty of sugar water. The bees are strong. I fed them pollen throughout the winter, but yes, I made sure that they had adequate enough sugar in their hive to get them through the winter. Sugar water, dry sugar, and they increased, and now these little nukes here are monsters, and they're busting full. They're busting at the seams. And I'll do a video here shortly. We'll get into them, and I'll start showing you just how full these things really are. And well, that's about it for today. Don't forget, we will have a coffee bee chat April 11th. So that will be our next coffee bee chat. We didn't get a chance to really announce it very good the last time because we wasn't sure when we could actually do it, but this time we're giving everybody a long advance notice. April 11th, 215 East Market Street, Chatsworth. Don't forget about that. Also, if you get a chance, check out my I got a homestead YouTube channel called Homestead Hacks. I'll put the link in the description. If you're into gardening, farming, animals, chickens, geese, ducks, anything like that, check it out. It's we got over 1,000 subscribers. It's new. I started last August, and I'm just now getting back where I'm being able to make some videos. But if you would please, any questions you have for Homestead Hacks, please submit those questions on that YouTube channel, on Homestead Hacks YouTube channel, or through homesteadhacks@gmail.com, and I'll put the link in the description and in caption here. So, but please don't call the store or our website on Barnyard Bees asking any questions about that, because we are already so swamped through those websites and emails already. So please submit all those questions to Homestead Hacks, please. But if you would, please go check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. Got part of my garden put out last week, and I got part of that in the video. And that's about it for today. I just want to do a little video on what you can do to prevent your bees from dying. If you don't have feed to them, you better get it to them, because these things will be thriving 1 minute. You'll be out there one day and you'll think, yeah, we got through the winter. And you'll go out the next day, a day after, and they're dead that fast. And you'll look in there and there'll be bees dead everywhere, and you'll pull your frames out and there'll be no honey. So don't forget about that. So don't forget, folks, please help share our videos, like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. Barnyard Bees.